to the Marketing Brief podcast. I am your host, Brian Aquan. This is the podcast where we briefly touch on subjects across the marketing landscape. And we are always joined by a marketing expert. And today we are joined by the CEO of RTM Nexus, Dominic Miserandino. Dominic, welcome in.
Thank you, sir.
It's great to have you. Would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners?
I appreciate that. I am a multi-time CEO. I'm on a few boards. I advise a few companies, and I'm right now running RTM Nexus, which is a wonderful networking community where various C-suites get together and share ideas.
Yes.
Help each other.
I like it. Yeah, and I know you could go on because there's a lot of slashes in your LinkedIn bio, and I know you've had a lot of TV appearances. You're called for a lot of things, so thank you for making some time for our listeners.
Thank you for having me, truly. Thank you.
Awesome.
I enjoy this.
Well, we've been tackling some consumer insights this year, which we're really interested in, and I know they kind of cross over with what you've been talking about. So at Aquan Consulting, we've identified authenticity, community, and value as being three really macro trends for consumers right now. I know authenticity is something that you cross over on. Is there a certain way that you kind of approach authenticity in this economy right now?
I think authenticity is the connecting to the human. And we all too often think of marketing just in terms of pure numbers, in terms of throwing out enough dollars at it and you'll solve it. I think, though, that at times, once you connect with a person, it converts easier than no matter how much you throw at them. An example would be, if you can spend as much money as you want to make the airplane fly 5 minutes faster, but if you give the people free Wi-Fi, they'll choose that airline. Generally, 9 times out of 10. People just want to connect and feel connected.
Completely agree. And I mean, that is the goal of marketing. I think it's become even more important as the other kind of subject we've been exploring is how we're leaving this attention economy where you had to be in front of consumers 24 hours a day. I'm going to shout the loudest. I'm going to get the most engagement. And thank you. Yeah. And what we've looked at is it's becoming more of a conversation economy, right? It doesn't matter how many times you shout. Are you getting feedback from the consumer? Are you engaging in these conversations? It seems like authenticity is the route to actually getting a real conversation going with consumers.
Well, I think authenticity has always been there. There was a moment of being anonymous that rose up with the dawn of the internet where everyone was kind of spamming everybody. But we still had it within us. It was a novelty. It was confusing. Random phone calls, random texts, random emails. But the inherent human nature of authenticity still shown right through that anonymous world.
I look at it in the space of like customer service now, interactions that you have with brands. There's a certain expectation that the brand is going to text you back. The brand is going to be in your direct messages, willing to kind of engage with you. And, you can probably spot if it's an agent right away versus if it's a person. Is that a space that you're kind of exploring?
Yeah, it is an interesting challenge because I do think, especially AI and agents, it could be an enhancement, which is wonderful. But also at times, we're getting a little more used to that. So I think we've become a hyper-focused society, if you will, where we're very concerned. We all thrive for authenticity. We really do. And now you have these tools which allow for mass, but inauthentic AI.
Yeah.
And that becomes a little bit issue.
And it also allows authenticity to really stand out more, right? You can spot it. You know when it's real and you want to engage with it.
Absolutely. I think the average person does know that, but we did have a societal jump towards, just going online, pressing a button. It became that, and then now we went maybe too much.
The pendulum always swings back.
100% it always does. Always does. So it's just, I think, societally thinking.
Well, it totally lends itself to another macro trend we're identified or we're examining now, which is community. I think in a lot of ways we're still in this post-COVID world where people are coming out of their homes still, but you're trying to find your groups of people that have like-minded thoughts, that are into the same things as you. When I talk to brands in my consulting role, I talk about a brand can be a platform for people, right? You can create a community in which people can now connect, and then the brand is seen as favorable in that community. Does that resonate with you?
Well, yes, that is the nature of online, was to find one's place in the world. That was the nature. We went out there to find one's place, to find that community. And I think what happened at first also was that it became that mass wall of insanity with everybody. And then eventually we got better at finding that, someone might be an Instagram this, or Twitter that, or Facebook this, and you started getting more and more tight within those requests. And it certainly makes a difference. It certainly does make that difference when people could say, okay, I can breathe, I found my people. That's ultimately, but if you think of it, that was the initial goal of online, still is. I want to connect with my people, whatever it may be.
What are some things that you look for in community online? Like, are you trying to find your people in certain subjects?
I think you're looking for the authentic as in who is that person. One of the things I try to do when I'm having a networking call is I will say, how can I help you? And the reason I'm doing it is I also recognize one needs to create that authentic connection. Like if it's just another call where you're like, all right, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Like, but if you can actually say, I remember that moment that Brian and I did this. Yes. But I think that's also human. You always want to say, I remember that time you spit up the coffee and it was very funny. You need to have those moments to ultimately connect the
Those
dots.
moments usually happen IRL, right? In real life, if you're meeting up with people or you're having a face-to-face conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I would also argue they could happen online, but you need to really
invest in it.
Work on it.
Yeah.
But you need
invest
to really connect.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I'd also love to ask you about your view on the economy right now. I know it's something that you get called on a lot when things happen in the economy. People have been calling it the K-shaped economy. Yes. I've been kind of calling it the do whatever you can economy, try to bring home a paycheck. How are you viewing this economy for consumers right now?
Well, I think it's funny you started with authenticity because I feel like that is what does occur when economies like this. When it's strong economies, the answer is go out wide, get me 50 Super Bowl commercials, below the budget, I don't care. And then when it comes like this, it's a different story. You know what I'm saying? When it comes like this, it's a different story. When you have an economy that you have to watch every dime, you go, wait a minute, let me line that up. And I think that is where it's critical. When you have moments like this in history, you do want authenticity because every dollar matters. Authenticity is that goal of a negative economy in a way, and then we forget that, and then we get a super strong economy, and then you go in super wide, and then you get, the cycles go along with it.
I'm totally seeing that too. It's trying to find those qualified leads versus just thousands and thousands of leads. And I think when consumers view it now, they view it as what's the value I'm getting back from the dollars I'm spending, right? If I'm going to pull back on my streaming services, what's the one that I'm getting the most out of, right? Or I'm making decisions based on how it's delivering for me, what the experience is against the dollars I have to put into it.
Yep. I think that is absolutely what people are looking for. And I think we are in a very interesting time because also post-COVID, there was a high degree of anonymous, press the button, get the DoorDash to your front door.
Yeah.
These shifts happen, and now it's part of
and a lot more disposable income with people being inside too. So they were making decisions that, what brings joy to me, right? Can I spend $10 and something comes to my door and that brings me joy? Yeah. And now we're completely flipped on the other side of like, okay, I need the most joy out of the $10 that I spend, and where is that going to be?
100%. And I think that is so relevant where we flip our desires, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I love as a marketer, is trying to figure out the psychology of where consumers are now and how can I connect with them in an authentic way.
Well, that's ultimately what marketing is in a nutshell. It is just that connection. That's all we want. We all want to connect. But that's also, I would even argue, that's business. Just connecting and doing something together. And
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And the basis
That's
of
always
messaging
good.
in general.
That's
Yes. Well, I always love to ask all of my guests
Absolutely.
if there's something you're looking forward to. It can be in your professional capacity, it can be in your personal life, but is there something that you're excited about or looking forward to right now?
You know, it's funny. I am very pro. I do a lot of these. Connecting with people is fun to me. Sharing ideas. I sometimes will go to conferences, sit with a cup of coffee, and just exchange ideas that new to me and you. So that's always fun to me. I have a pretty active calendar, thank gosh, and feel free to follow me LinkedIn.
Do you have any
You'll
conferences
see
coming
my
up that
active
you're
calendar.
going to? Anything you're recommending?
Recommending? I taught a conference every 2 weeks. That one, definitely look at my calendar. Let's figure it out, you know? Not one in particular. Every 2 weeks I'm somewhere. I think I've not been in New York State where I live greater than 10 days in a row since August. I'm flying somewhere all the time.
Okay. All right. We'll have to check your calendar. How do people get in touch with you? Is LinkedIn the best way?
That's way, by
Well, it's
far.
been great having you as a guest, Dominic. Thank you for coming on the Marketing Brief podcast.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This has been a brief conversation with Dominic Miserandino. Thank you for being our guest, and everybody else out there, stay curious.
I love it.